Hello Funkers, Tony Funk here, back at it again. I hope everyone's doing well today. Anyway, today we're going to talk about why, as much as I personally enjoyed the shit out of Dragon Ball Superhero, I found a plethora of problems. More specifically, I found a problem with Gohan Beast. Now, I love Gohan Beast, and I know fucking everyone loves Gohan Beast. Seriously, I'm a huge fan of Gohan Beast. I'm also a fan of Gohan. He's up there, he's within my top favorite characters in the entire series. So, I'm a huge fan. But the way in which Gohan Beast played out and the way in which the transformation played out left a lot to be desired. If we are to believe Gohan and Piccolo's commentary after their fight with Cell Max, then we must assume two disgusting things. A, the Red Ribbon Army is capable of creating androids and bioweapons with power levels that surpass those of Ultra Instinct or even True Ultra Instinct. And B, Gohan was able to leapfrog Ultra Instinct Goku and Ultra Ego Vegeta without godly training only because he thought he saw Piccolo die. Now, despite how freaking stupid these assumptions are, more than likely they're true. Superhero presumably takes place after the events of the Granola Saga, since Pan, Goten, and Trunks are all a little older, and that Broly is now training with Goku, Vegeta, Beerus, and Whis, which implies the fact that Gohan has a good idea of how powerful Goku and Vegeta have gotten since that arc. So how much more powerful was Gohan Beast than True Ultra Instinct Goku? First, I needed to figure out more specifically at what time does Dragon Ball Superhero take place. Well, this question was originally supposed to be a lot more straightforward than it ended up being until I realized that I didn't quite know for sure at which point in the timeline the events took place. So I looked all over the internet only to find a myriad of conflicting reports and not knowing which were true or not. So I did the only sensible thing and went to Kanzenshuu. And according to Kanzenshuu, they're placing the story in a broad time period in between the events of Dragon Ball Super Broly and the 28th Tenkaichi Budokai, which is not helpful at all. Because of how vague the timeline is, I've decided to place it 6 months after the end of the Granola Saga, which means that all projections that I'll be making in regards to power levels that have anything to do with Goku or Vegeta will be comparing their versions from that point in the timeline. Alright, so allow me to demonstrate you another table, just like in my last video about Black Frieza, where we can see the power levels of Granola Saga Goku, Vegeta, and the other characters, as well as the Dragon Ball Superhero characters. Alright, now allow me to explain the reasoning behind my decisions. Alright, so I said that Ultimate Piccolo was 20% more powerful than regular Piccolo. And the reason that I said that was because though Ultimate Piccolo was more powerful and though he represented Piccolo's potential at that time, he was still getting his ass kicked by Gamma too. And in fact, the fight didn't get any better for Piccolo. He basically transformed into Ultimate Piccolo and proceeded to get his ass handed to himself. So I wouldn't say that it was that big of a boost. Next up, I would say that Gammas 1 and 2 are both 20% more powerful than Ultimate Piccolo, because they could still totally overpower him. But the individual that they probably wouldn't be able to overpower would be Ultimate Gohan. And the reason for that is because Ultimate Gohan I calculated to be about the same power level as Gamma 1 and 2. Next up down our list, we have Ultimate Gohan and Orange Piccolo. So if we compare Ultimate Gohan / Gammas 1 and 2 with Orange Piccolo, we get a 12.5 multiplier difference between them, which is a ridiculous amount. Basically, that's how the math works out if you want to give Orange Piccolo a chance at being able to hold his own against Cell Max. Now, coincidentally, Orange Piccolo also happens to be at around the same power level as Ultra Ego Vegeta. Pretty sick, isn't it? Now, as we already know from our previous video, Ultra Instinct Goku is 20% more powerful than Ultra Ego Vegeta, but True Ultra Instinct is 3 times more powerful than regular Ultra Instinct. And for those who haven't seen the previous video, my rationale for that was because True Ultra Instinct was able to fight Gas in his most ultimate form, and somewhat be able to hold his own. Now, based on the commentary that Gohan made about his dad or Vegeta not being able to take on Cell Max, I assume that Cell Max was probably 50% more powerful than True Ultra Instinct. And this, of course, leads me to compare Cell Max with Gohan Beast. I said that Gohan Beast was 30% more powerful than Cell Max, based on the fact that it seemed that Gohan Beast was more than overpowering. He was so confident with Cell Max basically threatening to blow up the planet that I'm assuming that Gohan was more than confident that he could take that blow or dissipate that attack or whatever the fuck he needed to do, but he seemed more than confident that he could have handled it. He also was able to kill Cell Max in one single hit. Granted, he had already taken substantial damage from Orange Piccolo and Gammas 1 and 2. But no matter, Gohan's feat was very impressive. And just for shits and giggles, just to compare how much Gohan Beast would match up against the likes of Black Frieza, which I know is a topic of conversation nowadays, whether or not Black Frieza would take on Gohan Beast. So even though Black Frieza is substantially more powerful than Gohan Beast, 4.3 times more powerful, that's still somewhat close. So it's still very impressive that Gohan was able to do that. So okay, according to my power scaling here, Gohan Beast is 5.85 times stronger than Ultra Instinct, but only 1.95 times stronger than True Ultra Instinct. And the reason that Gohan is almost twice as strong as Daddy is because the insinuation is that Cell Max would have mopped the floor with Goku and Vegeta, and therefore Gohan Beast had to be that much stronger than True Ultra Instinct. Where things get really weird is where Orange Piccolo clocks in at the same power level as Vegeta, which doesn't seem right to me, but what also doesn't seem right to me is that even with such a big boost, he would still be 5.4 times weaker than Cell Max. And we know Cell Max was significantly more powerful than Piccolo. But if we power scale Piccolo to be any lower than Ultra Ego, the gap between him and Cell would get worse and worse, which is very problematic. But again, if it's any consolation, I'm power scaling to Vegeta's Ultra Ego from the Granola Saga. But still, regardless of that caveat, it definitely feels like the greatest ass pull in the history of Toriyama-esque ass pulls of all time. Think about it. Ultimate Gohan was slightly more powerful than Super Saiyan 3, since he was more than capable of defeating Super Buu, which means to me that Ultimate Gohan was around 20 to 30% stronger than Super Saiyan 3 before the Dragon Ball Super time skip. This means that after no longer receiving any more godly training from anybody, Gohan is all of a sudden keeping up with the godlike characters like Dispo while being in a form that supposedly unlocked his potential at the time. It was kind of sort of somewhat implied that he was around the same level as Golden Frieza, which is crazy to me, because Gohan never fucking trains, and when he does, it's not for very much time, while being in a form that supposedly unlocked his potential at the time, and that was way back in the Buu saga. It's not like the ultimate form can continue to improve Gohan exponentially with minimum effort forever and ever, right? Or does it, and did I miss the fucking memo? Because the thing about Gohan being near the levels of gods that bothers me is that the boy rarely fucking trains. Meanwhile, he used to train for years to achieve much lesser jumps in power. So what gives? Is Gohan like Frieza 2 only way more powerful? Frieza had to train for 10 years to become Black Frieza, whereas Gohan had to get angry once and he was able to surpass True Ultra Instinct Goku, a technique that is more powerful than one of the rungs of Ultra Instinct, which is a technique so powerful that it is only able to be used by angels. So yeah, Gohan is able to surpass those heights because he got angry that Piccolo died for the 3rd/4th time in the series. Ugh. See why this is problematic? At least Piccolo's insane jump in power can be justified by saying,
"Whenever you notice something like that,
the Dragon Balls did it." But anyway, we all know that Gohan's jumps in power will always be proportional to how high they need to be, so as to be a good 20% or more powerful than his opponents. But anyway, Gohan fanboys, it's been a long time coming for Gohan to get his power boost and become relevant again. What do you guys think? Is Gohan Beast cool enough to make up for the lack of merit it took to achieve it? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, Funkers, I shall see y'alls down the road.